What's up? I'm SYROBE. Thank you all so much for the overwhelmingly positive response to my first tier list ranking every weapon in Black Myth Wukong. Ever since then, I've had a ton of requests to make a new tier list ranking all armor sets in Black Myth Wukong as well. So if you enjoy, please subscribe, as my next video is going to be the world's first one-shot challenge in Black Myth Wukong, where I've already finished one-shotting every boss in the game. It's coming soon and it'll be awesome. Let's get right into the grading criteria for how I'm ranking each armor set. First off, there are a ton of individual pieces of armor within the game, both complete armor sets and random unique pieces of gear. Most unique pieces don't belong to any complete armor sets and cannot be upgraded at all, despite some of them being really good. My personal favorite being See No Evil, which makes it easier to trigger a perfect dodge specifically. But for the sake of this list, I'll be focusing on complete armor sets only, meaning my list only ranks armor sets by their ability to grant you some sort of set bonus, which is basically an effect that is triggered upon wearing matching armor pieces. And no, I will not take any armor defense values into consideration. My grading criteria will ignore all armor-based defense stats, because almost every armor set can be upgraded to a mythical level, which all gain nearly identical defense values from each other, making base defense values not a good way to scale which set is the best, because every mythical armor piece is barely 10 points of defense apart from each other. It's really nothing you'd ever notice, with the exception of the Bull King set as an outlier having the highest base armor in the game, far above every other set. I believe what matters most is the set bonuses, unique effects, and any additional passives to truly represent the value of armor in Black Myth Wukong. Each armor set will be ranked at their fully upgraded mythical level, because most armor sets in the game can be upgraded from a default low-level rarity to a maximum mythical upgrade level, turning even an average piece of green tier armor into something far more valuable. To summarize, I'll be ranking every complete set based on the following: all set bonuses on each armor set, any unique effects, which is a unique passive gained from specific pieces of gear regardless of meeting their set piece bonus requirements, and any secret mythic bonuses. The max upgrade level of mythical value allows some, but not all armor sets to gain a mythic bonus, which is represented by a little flower icon. This icon means that you not only have to wear every single piece of that set, but each piece in that set has to be at max upgrade mythical level, which is why my list grades entire sets and their respective bonuses at mythical level to allow you all to see which sets provide the most value. Of course, this list is a bit biased as I have my own certain playstyle that I enjoy, though I tend to be objective, and this list is going to be a bit brutal. Starting off, here's the entire D tier for armor sets in Black Myth Wukong, knocking out what I assume are a ton of fan favorites. Keep in mind, once again, this is ranking these sets as if you wore their entire corresponding set at max mythical level. Here we go again, starting off with more trash DLC content. The Folk Opera set is a 4-piece armor set that can be upgraded to mythical level. Personally, I think everything except the mask looks really cool, but unfortunately my list does not give bonuses for style points. You can only get this set from the $10 USD content pack. Despite looking cool, it doesn't really do much. It's mostly cosmetic with no unique passives and only one set bonus, which is a 4-piece set bonus that increases all the will you gain by around 10%, making this set worthy of D tier because at the very least other armors are free, regardless of how bad they are. It would have been cool if this passive was something like giving you more attack based on how much will you have stored, something like the more money you have, the more damage you do, but at its current state, it's not worth maxing out at all. The Long Scale Battle Robe is a 3-piece armor set that can be upgraded to mythical level. This might be one of the worst sets in the game. I don't even think it works properly, or it might be bugged at the very least. From my own QA testing, the Long Scale Robe has a single 3-piece set bonus that does not seem to increase any thunder damage at all. Despite dealing thunder damage with the Golden Longstaff 3 focus point heavy attack, Stormflash Longstaff charge passive, and even the Thunder Horse transformation, I noticed no change in damage with or without the full set. The only part of the set that worked was the unique effect for the chest piece passive that buffs the perfect dodge perk Vengeful Mirage. This unique passive makes the Mirage clone deal thunder damage, which is actually the only thunder damage source that I could find that gained increased damage from the set bonus passive. This set also gains a secret mythical set bonus that increases its thunder damage. When the full set is worn and upgraded to mythical value, it's only around a 15% increase in thunder damage from what I could tell, based on the Vengeful Mirage barrage clones damage, so even if it worked properly, it would only be about 15% more thunder damage. And the armor set's passive reduces the state of Thunderbane, negatively impacting your Stormflash Longstaff passive by reducing the duration of your buff and not even increasing your weapon's thunder damage, making it one of the worst sets in the game. The Ochre Battle Robe is a 3-piece set that can be upgraded to mythical level. Let's be honest here, this set is another one of those sets that sound great until you try it and realize it's some hot dog shit. This is another 3-piece set bonus that buffs all decoys and duplicates by granting them damage reduction, except not really. Okay, so when you have all 3 pieces of this armor set on, the set bonus will only buff clones spawned by your Pluck of Many spell. This damage reduction makes them look like they're covered in sand, which is how you can tell the damage reduction is active. But this effect does not appear to apply to your perfect dodge decoy, and does not appear to apply to your Cloud Step decoy either. It seems to only apply from the clones generated by your Pluck of Many spell. Oh, and this set does have a mythic set bonus, where using a 4-point focus attack creates a new duplicate that literally lasts for around 10 seconds. Yeah, and you'd think that based on the passive, this clone should have the damage reduction bonus as well, but nope, it doesn't get it either. The only good part about this set is that the Ochre Arm Guards have an individual unique effect that gives you bonus crit chance for every focus point you spend on a heavy attack. This means that after you use a max full focus heavy attack, you gain an additional 24% crit chance for around 6 seconds. But again, that's just the unique effect on the Arm Guards, which is still active without using any other piece from the Ochre Battle Robe set. A very underwhelming set that I can only see being used to equip for the set bonus, spawn your Pluck of Many clones, and then immediately swap and unequip it to anything else. Or at least keep the Arm Guards and use them with any other set in the game, because that's all the set is really good for, making it worthy of D tier. This is the Ebongold set, which is a 3-piece set that can be upgraded to mythical level. This armor has a 3-piece set bonus, which buffs your Cloud Step spell. Cloud Step allows you to go invisible and spawns a clone in your last location. Normally, this clone disappears after it gets killed or after 10 seconds of time passes, whichever happens first. With this 3-piece set bonus, you spawn a Black Wind particle effect that rapidly deals damage to enemies nearby you and your Cloud Step clone. This damage is actually a very small area of effect, but deals around 33 to 34% of your total damage every second, which sounds great on paper, as the Black Wind can also critically strike and seems to inherit its damage directly from your stats. However, the damage is so low and slow regardless. The area of effect has to literally be touching an enemy for it to deal any damage, and the worst part is the clone that you leave behind is not a Pluck of Many clone and does not move from its location, so the damage it deals is irrelevant unless a boss chooses to literally stand on top of a clone. And also, this set doesn't work with your Pluck of Many clones either. It only applies the damaging aura on specifically your Cloud Step clone, and nothing else besides yourself. However, there's also one unique effect within this set that does not require the set bonus to activate. The Ebongold Graders on your legs increases your Cloud Step Unveiling Strike damage by around 10%. In addition to this unique effect, there's also a mythic bonus that prevents your Cloud Step clone from expiring on a timer and makes it so your Cloud Step clone must actually be killed for it to disappear again, which sounds good on paper, but again, it can't move and it can't attack even if it could survive longer than 10 seconds. You're still also only invisible for 10 seconds even if the clone is still alive, so it's just a bit disappointing. I think this set would have been way cooler if it worked the same but for your Pluck of Many clones instead, rather than just the single Cloud Step clone that can't move and does nothing, making it worthy of D tier. The Venomous Sting set is a 4-piece armor set that can be upgraded to mythical level. This 2-piece set bonus gives you focus whenever you consume any medicine pills, regardless of type. Honestly, this effect feels nice because consuming any medicine gives you nearly 1 full bar of your focus meter. So if you have some leftover junk meds that aren't really valuable, this gives all medicine an increased value. However, this value becomes less important when you realize that you can actually just craft like 2 different kinds of medicine that also instantly give you focus bars without wearing this armor at all, making the passive of the 2-piece set almost worthless. The 4-piece set bonus allows you to increase all medicine durations by around 12%, basically grants you an additional 10 seconds to your medicine duration that only gets lower in value for shorter pill durations. Plus, you have to wear some of the ugliest armor in the game, making the set worthy of D tier. The Serpent Scale set is a 3-piece set that can be upgraded to mythical level. It features only a 3-piece set bonus that reduces stamina cost in water for every action you perform by nearly 50% stamina cost reduction based on my QA testing. Again, this sounds amazing, but this set literally has no passive if you are not in a body of water, and expires the second you leave any water source. However, the Serpent Scale Battle Robe also gains a mythic bonus that increases the damage you deal with light attack finishers, but again, only while in water. This attack bonus is substantial, around an increase of 30% to only the final attack in your light attack combo chain, essentially only buffing a single hit while you are in water. I will say the best part about this set is the unique effect granted to the chest piece. So whenever you're less than half your total life, this set will gradually heal you until you reach that 50% cutoff again, and stops healing you the moment you're back to 50%, saving you a lot of gourd uses. This effect is also increased even further in water, which makes it even more amazing. Despite it being the best part of the set, it's a unique effect, so you don't even have to wear any of the other set piece bonuses to gain the healing. You're better off just wearing the chest piece and nothing else from this set, making it worthy of D tier. I know the healing is great, but again, we're ranking the whole set together, not just the chest piece. The Bronze Battle Robe is a 4-piece set that can be upgraded to mythical level. This set is a perfect C tier set because it's great, but it only does one thing, and that's act as a permanent buff to your immobilize spell. The biggest problem I have with this set is that it does literally nothing if you prefer to use Spellbinder or even Ring of Fire in place of the immobilize spell, as they all share the same spell slot. Regardless, the 2-piece set bonus says it deals additional damage after crashing an enemy's immobilization, but this doesn't seem to work at all. And actually, my results were inconclusive. When I tested this set, I didn't notice any increase in damage with or without the set. I assumed that crashing enemy immobilization refers to the shatter effect that happens after you deal enough damage to an immobilized enemy. But I swear this shit does not work. No matter how many times I tested it, I never noticed a difference. I also tested it with and without the specific crash perk active because I thought maybe it might be a translation error, but even then I still didn't notice any change in damage. So feel free to test this for yourself because as far as I'm concerned, this passive literally does nothing. However, the 4-piece set bonus does appear to work properly, reducing your immobilize spell cooldown by around 20 seconds upon crashing an enemy out of their stasis. This essentially refunds nearly 40% of the spell's cooldown, and the arm guards do have a unique bonus, but the bonus is a bit underwhelming. You have to have the Evanescence perk activated under the immobilize skill tree for it to work, and basically when you time a frame perfect immobilize against an enemy right as their attack is about to hit you, you can then use a light attack to instantly hit them with the light attack combo finisher. This deals bonus damage, but I'm not sure why you would want to even use a light attack finisher when even a single dot focus point heavy attack appears to deal way more damage, and this spell gives you more than enough time to do both. And since the 2-piece set bonus seems to be unnoticeable, with the only viable set bonus reducing the immobilized cooldown, grants this set a deserving spot in C tier. The Non-Pure set is a 4-piece armor set that can be upgraded to mythical level. Honestly, this set is extremely underrated. Most people think that this set only works when you stand in a source of mud, similar to how the Serpent Scale set only works while standing in water sources. But really, what this set does is automatically covering you in a muddy visual texture effect after exiting a transformation state or exiting a spirit state. This is the mud that this set is referring to. You don't need to be standing in any actual mud at all for it to work. While covered in the mud from this passive, the mud effect lasts for around 10 seconds and grants you the following: 20% damage reduction while the mud is active, 25% increase to might recovery rate also while the mud is active, and all actions you perform consume 0 stamina for around 10 seconds for the unique passive on the Greaves. However, I should make it abundantly clear that while the mud is on your character, you are forced to fat roll, which is the largest downside to wearing this set. The fat roll debuff only lasts for 10 seconds, which is also the same duration as the damage reduction and the infinite stamina bonus. The 4-piece set bonus also allows perfect dodges and regular dodges to restore might. However, I wasn't able to notice any might being restored. Even after multiple attempts, it was extremely hard to notice this effect working, making it not really valuable in my opinion. If you're someone who loves to use transformation spells or spirit spells, then this set would be perfect for you, but even then, the set bonus it offers aren't anything super special, as well as the fact that the fat rolling can get really fucking annoying. But it does have quite a few positive trade-offs, so not the worst, but extremely far from being the best. The Gray Tier Sage Armor is the 4-piece Easter egg set resembling Wukong's original design in Journey to the West. This set cannot be upgraded at all, has no mythic bonus, and no unique effects. All it has is a single 4-piece set bonus requiring you to wear all 4 pieces at once, which grants you bonus armor based on your relic amount. This conversion is around 24 bonus armor for every relic you have active, which you can unequip and re-equip here by respecking to see for yourself. Each relic is obtained after completing a chapter, requiring you to complete the game and its true ending more than 3 times to achieve all 18 relics. While this set does grant you the highest total armor value in the game, with a fully stacked passive, it doesn't even give the Dark Iron Staff the most damage despite the Dark Iron Staff scaling directly off your defense stat. Instead, that's actually the Yaksha set, as I mentioned already in my previous weapon tier list video. This set is only the best for flat defense and nothing else. Plus, to even achieve the max armor value that you can obtain from this set, you have to beat the entire game and its true ending 3 times over like I mentioned earlier, making it not all that valuable until you do. And even when you do, flat defense becomes less and less valuable after every journey you complete. Every new cycle you start makes enemies deal more damage, so flat armor values become worse while percent damage reduction values become even more valuable. I would have liked it if this set gave you like a percent reduction maybe after filling out 3 relics in a single section, but it doesn't, placing the set at the bottom of B tier. The Centipede Armor set is actually a 5-piece set that can be upgraded to mythical level. Notice how I said 5 pieces? Yes, that was intentional. There are technically 4 main Centipede Armor pieces that fall under the Poison Ward set bonus, but there's a secret 5th piece to this set known as the Venomous Arm Guards, which also have the exact same Poison Ward set bonus. The Venomous Arm Guards are pretty much a direct upgrade from the regular Centipede Arm Guards, making them completely interchangeable. But the Venomous Arm Guards grants you bonus crit chance on the arm guard itself, and it has a new unique passive that applies poison buildup to an enemy when your attacks critically strike them. From my testing, this doesn't seem to deal any poison damage, but rather just applies poison passively upon every crit you deal to an enemy. So the more you crit, the faster they get poisoned. Again, these arm guards are obtained by delivering backshots to the Venom Taoist, which ends up cutting off his arms from behind and allowing you to wear them like gloves. It's also a completely missable item that is objectively just better than the regular Centipede Arm Guards with the exact same set bonus. The only difference is once you defeat the Venom Taoist, if he's already dead and you didn't get this set, you can't get them till your next journey. So let's get into the bonuses now. The Centipede set is a pretty basic set with a 2-piece set bonus that reduces continuous poison damage on yourself. Normally this isn't super important on its own, but it comes in handy with the 4-piece set bonus, which grants you bonus attack as long as you are poisoned. The chest piece also grants you an additional attack bonus after defeating an enemy. The chest piece unique effect increases your total damage by 10%, while the 4-piece set bonus increases your damage by nearly 20% while inflicted with poison, and both of these damage buffs stack on each other. The 4-piece set bonus lasts as long as you are poisoned, and the chest piece unique effect lasts around 20 seconds. So with the set, you can put the Scorpion Stinger in your flask and self-poison yourself to always keep the 20% damage buff up. The biggest issue is that this self-poison damage bonus that you get immediately goes away if you cleanse the poison, forcing you to always take poison damage to keep this buff active. So this is a fairly high-risk, high-reward set, forcing you to remain poisoned all the time, making it worthy of a solid B-tier armor set. The Iron Tough set is a 4-piece set that can be upgraded to mythical level. Honestly, this set is really good because it's the only way to make Rock Solid a viable spell. But sadly, that's the best and worst part about this set. You really have no reason to wear the set at all if you aren't using Rock Solid as a spell. Considering Cloud Step is infinitely more valuable than Rock Solid as a spell, which both share the same spell slot, it's really unlikely that you would ever wear this set unless you plan to use Rock Solid for your entire playthrough. This 2-piece set bonus buffs your Rock Solid Nick of Time perk. With the regular perk active and without the armor, a successful deflect fills around 70% of your first focus bar. But with this perk and with the 2-piece set bonus, it pretty much fills 100% of your first focus bar and a little bit more, making it just a tad easier to gain focus when deflecting successfully. The 4-piece set also says it reduces the cooldown of the Rock Solid spell upon a successful deflect, which happens to reduce the spell's cooldown by around 5 seconds. The Rock Solid spell only has a cooldown of 15 seconds max, so shaving off 5 seconds is quite a lot for the spell as long as you don't fail the timing. Also, the Arm Guards do have a unique effect, which increases your next attack by around 15% from my testing, provided you perfectly time your deflect and don't miss it. This bonus damage appears to last for around 5 seconds seconds, so you have to be fairly quick. If Rock Solid was a better spell than Cloud Step or in a different spell slot, this set would easily be S tier, but again, I'm a firm believer that Cloud Step is generally the best spell in slot when comparing it directly to Rock Solid, making it worthy of a solid B tier ranking. The Gale Guard set is a 4-piece set that can be upgraded to mythical level. When fully maxed out, this set has a 2-piece bonus, a 4-piece set bonus, a mythical set bonus, and a unique passive on the legs piece. Initially, this set sounds OP, but honestly, it's a bit more balanced than it might seem. The 2-piece set bonus gains you additional focus when you perform a perfect dodge. The set bonus is nothing extremely valuable, as it only saves around 1 to 2 perfect dodges compared to not using the set bonus at all, when regarding the build-up rate of 3 focus charges, solely by perfect dodging. But to be honest, one really stupid thing about this set is that both the mythic bonus passive and the 4-piece set bonus passive state that perfect dodges will reduce cooldowns for all spells, which sounds amazing on paper until you actually test it and realize it's like 1 second for each passive. So when both cooldown passives activate, it only shaves off around 2 seconds total for all your spell cooldowns. Even with the 4-piece set bonus and the mythic bonus, it was hardly noticeable. Also, the Gale Guard Greaves have a unique passive where you restore mana if you can do 3 perfect dodges back to back, which is not only hard to pull off, but it's pretty fucking worthless when you actually do, because it restores about 10 mana from what I could tell. The mana restoration was almost unnoticeable, and is definitely not worth going out of your way to use, making the Greaves unique effect almost completely worthless. However, all of these other stats are not as valuable as the increased iframes from the mythic bonus. This by far overshadows everything else. While we don't have the exact frame data at this time, I'm of the belief that anything that increases your invincibility frames while dodging, even by a little, is nearly priceless, which carries this set to be worthy at the top of B tier. The Bull King set is an amazing set, but it only deserves an A tier ranking. Every single armor set in the game can be obtained on your first playthrough except this one. The Bull King set is the only set that can be obtained after beating the entire game at least once. It's a 4-piece set that is already at mythical level and cannot be upgraded any further. The 2-piece armor set bonus appears to increase your total armor stat by around 10% upon taking damage, but this bonus literally only lasts for around 5 seconds each time it activates. It's also funny that the 4-piece set bonus is actually completely wrong and is literally the result of a mistranslation. The 4-piece bonus says it grants you tenacity while below half your maximum life, but it's actually the exact opposite, granting you tenacity while above half your maximum life. You can test this yourself. I promise it literally does the exact opposite of what the description says. And a few Chinese members in my community pointed out that the original source literally states very clearly that it's supposed to say above and doesn't mention the word below at all. And this mistranslation was so bad that it forced me to go back through every single armor piece and item description, which is why my video ended up getting delayed, and how I noticed several other mistranslations or passives that didn't even work, in order to ensure that everything was translated properly or not, which is how I found multiple other bugs and multiple other mistranslations for multiple armor sets throughout my video, and caused me to rewrite my entire script and unfortunately ended up delaying this video. The helmet unique effect also grants you bonus focus meter charge while under the effects of tenacity. This also helps prove that the 4-piece set bonus is mistranslated, because when you're full HP you'll get a ton of focus, but when you drop below half HP you get a lot less focus, showing you exactly how long you're under the effects of tenacity for, and you start flinching at enemy attacks once again, which normally doesn't affect you at full HP. Once again, the 4-piece set literally does the exact opposite of what it says it should do. Despite the mistranslation, the 4-piece set bonus is actually better than what the description suggests. So even though it's mistranslated, it's actually far better than its mistranslation. And in case anyone was wondering, tenacity is basically like hyper armor or poise from Elden Ring, where enemy attacks deal damage but no longer staggers your character upon hitting you. It's just a bit unfortunate that the 2-piece set passive is extremely short-lived, but the 4-piece passive combined with the focus region of the unique helmet effect makes this worthy of A tier. Once again, it's the only set that you can't craft in your first playthrough, and it would definitely be S tier if you could craft the full set in your first playthrough, which is why I think it belongs in A tier. The Gold Sage armor set is an amazing set in Black Myth Wukong. First off, you get this set for free, which is a 4-piece armor set, but 5 pieces if you count the Jingu Bang staff. It's really just a stat stick set with amazing stat bonuses, and if you just equip the Jingu Bang, the bracers, and the chest piece, the 3-piece set bonus technically offers you around 18% crit chance after activating its passive. The complete set also allows you to access the hidden secret Wukong stance. I already covered this in my weapon tier list video, so go check that out for more details. To be honest, the 5 piece set bonus that reduces cooldowns is kind of mid. From what I could tell, it's like 2 seconds shaved off your cooldown, but only when you critically strike. It's very unnoticeable, even when I modded my game to have a 100% crit chance. But the 3-piece set bonus is strong, and the gauntlets and the chest piece, combined with the Jingle Bang weapon, unlocks the 3-piece set bonus, which grants you bonus 8% crit chance for 10 seconds after using any spell. This crit chance buff does not work on spirits, vessels, or transformations, and only activates on your first 3 primary spells. Once again, there's also a secret Wukong stance that allows you to transform into the special Wukong moveset. This requires all 5 pieces of the Gold Sage set. The Golden Sage set provides value from the moment you get it, and even more value each New Game Plus cycle that you start. I would put it higher on this list, but I don't actually enjoy wearing the entire 5-piece set outside of using the Wukong stance. So as a whole, it's definitely one of the best sets in the game, but you do have to wear the entire set to activate the Wukong stance, making it worthy at the top of A tier. Before we start the top of the S tier armor sets, be sure to follow me on Twitch to catch my live speed runs of Black Myth Wukong, and leave a like on this video if you enjoyed. The Yaksha Outrage set is a 4-piece set that can be upgraded to mythical level. In all honesty, this is my favorite set in the entire game, and for my personal playstyle is always best in slot. However, there are still some objective flaws with it. The 2-piece set bonus is a direct buff to pillar stance abilities and attacks. It appears to be around a 15 to 20% damage bonus, but pillar stance is my least favorite stance of the 3 available stances in Black Myth Wukong, so I don't really value the 2-piece set bonus, since I prefer thrust or smash stance over the pillar stance, even with the set bonus damage. However, the 4-piece set is an additional 25% damage bonus to all damage you deal while wearing the complete set. The worst part of this set is that you take an increased 30% more damage from all sources, which makes you a glass cannon for a high risk and high reward set, allowing you to get the highest damage bonus in the game just from this set. However, that 30% increased damage that this set makes you take can stack with other debuffs like the lightning debuff for around 50% increased damage from everything. Again, I only prefer it as a professional Souls challenge runner, as it adds a high risk challenge for me to enjoy with a high reward damage bonus payoff. But for anyone who is struggling with the game as it is, I definitely would not recommend this set to you to help progress your journey. The Yaksha set actually offers more total damage for the Dark Iron Staff specifically, thanks to its 25% damage bonus and high base defense value for the set. If you factor in that additional 25%, it allows the Dark Iron Staff to have more damage with the Yaksha set than compared to the Grey Wukong set, and still more damage than the Bulking set even with the Bulking set passive, which is why I placed it at the bottom of S tier. It's no surprise the Pilgrim set is in S tier. My first ever most viewed video for Black Myth Wukong for the world's first true one-shot was the first video to cover the Pilgrim set's mythical level and putting the Pilgrim set on the map before any other channel. But I want to take this time to introduce an addendum for my previous video. While my previous video was mostly correct, it was way too hard for most people to replicate my one-shot technique. I discovered a much easier and more consistent way to use the Pilgrim set, which you'll see in a mini build showcase for the Pilgrim set. To refresh everyone, the 2-piece set bonus increases your sprint speed. From my personal testing, it was about a 20% increase in my movement speed. Then the 4-piece set bonus is where I broke the game, as the 4-piece set bonus does the following. It adds a 100% bonus damage buff after running for 10 consecutive seconds. Keep in mind, you have to keep running without stopping or being interrupted by enemies' attacks. You get around 10% more damage for each second you run, capping out at the 100% bonus that I just mentioned. But here's the problem. Once this passive is fully stacked, the damage buff lasts for literally 2 seconds, which starts counting down the moment you lose all momentum. This is actually barely enough time for any charge attack to land with the increased damage buff before the timer runs out. In my original one-shot video, I was only barely able to pull off my one-shot because I got extremely lucky with the timing and size of the specific boss I used it on. But for most people, it felt impossible for them to replicate, and people even accused me of cheating since they couldn't replicate it. Again, it just happened to be extremely lucky and almost frame perfect for a one-shot. But to prove I'm still 1000% legit and that it's still possible to one-shot with this set, here is my improved and more efficient way to use this set. Store up a permanent max charge using the Jingu Bang staff. Equip the following pieces of gear: the Weaver's Needle for extra crit chance and crit damage, and the Gore-Eye Taoist Spirit for around a 35% attack buff while in its radius. In your flask, put the following: drink every flask except the last one for the very final gourd buff, which only lasts around 10 seconds. Equip the following Cheerios. We need Auspicious Lantern to buff our Unveiling Strike attack. And equip as many Beast Buddhas as you can for the 9% crit damage bonus for each one. Max out your Cloud Step tree completely, max out your Thrust Dance tree completely, sip all your flasks until you have only one left, place down the Gore-Eye Taoist Spirit Cloud Step right underneath activate the red light to bait the boss into your damage buff area. Run for more than 10 seconds to ensure the damage buff is active. After running long enough, drink your final sip of your flask, then roll under the red light, and while using thrust stance, perform a dodge roll and heavy attack inside the red light for the most consistent and replicable true one-shot in the game, fixing my initial one-shot build, making it infinitely better than it was before. You're welcome. Once again, my new method is far easier, as the thrust stance perk Deadly Dance allows you to roll and instantly cast a max focus heavy attack as fast as possible, just barely allowing you to get the 4th charge heavy attack of the thrust stance off before the Pilgrim set damage buff wears away, making this method far better than my last, and worthy of keeping the Pilgrim set at S tier, as on top of the one-shot potential, you gain a ton of utility like the move speed buff being amazing outside of combat, and faster just traversing around the world, as well as the passive generation of focus points for the Mythic set bonus adds an even stronger value in this set with its amazing utility, warranting a perfect S tier slot. After extensive testing, I believe this might be the best objective armor set in the game. Yes, the Golden Embroidered set is a 4-piece set that can be upgraded to mythical level. It has everything you could need from a set without any drawbacks. The 2-piece set bonus grants you around a 15% increase to your base attack whenever a spirit skill or vessel is used, lasting around 20 seconds. This is a substantial attack buff that only becomes more valuable the more attack you gain, scaling well into the late game and even later into new game cycles. But the 4-piece set bonus is probably what makes this the best set in the game. With this 4-piece set bonus, you basically get infinite rapidly restoring chi. Chi is a resource used exclusively by your spirits and your vessels. There is no timer cooldown on these abilities, and your spirits and vessels can be infinitely used as long as you generate enough chi. So the faster you generate chi, the more you can spam your vessels and spirit skills. And with the 4-piece set bonus, the more critical strike chance you have, the faster you generate this chi. I mean, honestly, the clips should speak for themselves. I created a build for this set that utilizes the highest crit chance weapons possible with the Fubon staff, but you could use a different staff like the Sparta Celestial staff for the 2nd highest crit rate weapon in the game. It just won't be as broken. Here's my build and setup to allow you to maximize the uptime of your chi and spirits to absolutely stunlock bosses. And this build even works on both the true ending boss and the final boss of this game, trivializing almost every encounter when used properly. One of the best spirits to use with this set is the Apramana Bat. This is a spirit that allows you to completely freeze enemies in place, which you can then chain stunlock enemies with the Plantain Fan Vessel, which works on literally any boss in the game. Combining both of these sets allows you to perma stunlock any boss. Just be sure to max out your mobile spin tree completely. This also generates you a ton of focus points while rapidly building up your chi for your spirits and vessels, since mobile spin can crit as well. Mobile spin is also the fastest method of attacking in the entire game, generating as many crits as physically possible. You basically just use the tornado to stunlock the enemy, freeze them with the bat once the tornado ends, and either while frozen or in the tornado, you can mobile spin the ever-living fuck out of them while they cannot attack back. Again, mobile spin is the fastest way to pump out critical attacks, and each critical attack from the mobile spin generates you even more chi, allowing you to just absolutely demolish bosses, with them being hardly able to fight back. That's why I believe this is the best set in the game at the top of S tier. I don't think anything can beat permanently stunlocking bosses with little to no downside. This set only gets better the more crit chance you have, which ends up scaling extremely well based off your crit chance. Again, just being able to spam your vessel and spam your spirit skills as fast as physically possible, especially ones that prevent enemies or bosses from attacking and fighting back, with little to no drawbacks or penalties once again, while only getting better and better the more crit hits you have, makes it worthy of why I believe this is the best set in the game. Thank you all so much for watching and the overwhelming support on my most recent videos. If you made it to the very end, please check me out live on Twitch, and let me know if you tried my builds with either the Pilgrim set or the Golden Embroidered set. I've been SYROBE, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.